Good evening, everyone, and welcome to VSL Tier 2. And we are back this week. That's the Dutch GP, that's the Zandvoort circuit. And I guess the first thing to say for tonight is that we do have a new Tier 2 champion. And that is, where is he? There he is. Gareth. He's in the pits in a minute, but big congratulations to Gareth. He won the championship last time out at Imola, but unfortunately we had a few issues with the stream and had to end it early, so we didn't actually get to see him come across the line to win the title. But very well done to Gareth. He's definitely been the dominant force all season, so a very deserved title if you ask me, and good to see him wrap it up with still a few rounds left to go, so really putting his mark on the league. So I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more later on, but let's get focused on this qualifying session. It's quite a tricky track to overtake at Zandvoort, so qualifying is got an extra bit of emphasis on it, so it'll be very important to get as high up the grid as possible as we have our first 5 laps. Let's just sort out the HUD, let's call it the HUD, so there we go. We'll go on board with Acorn in the updated Alpine livery, see what he can do. Purple first sector, although I'm not sure if he is the first one through the first sector or not, but still purple nonetheless. And that is an Altaris spinning in front of him. That would be IRT or Kia. I want to say it's Kia. I think that is a new driver this week, so welcome. And Acorn now about to come across the second sector split. Will it be purple in the middle as well? It will be, so 2 purple sectors, and actually he will be the first person to set a lap. So let's just see what Acorn can put up on the board and what do people need to beat. So here he comes now through the heavily banked final corner, long right-hander, easy to lose it in the wet. It's not wet at the minute, but the clouds are a bit ominous, and it's an 11.9, the first lap of the day. Let's have a look at his teammate Ryan. Jack Craig gets a 12.0, goes second. What can Ryan do? An 11.958, so very close to the first 3 people that set up. Here comes Lewis Craig. It's going to be a little bit off the pace, 13.2. Do we have anybody else coming towards the end of the lap? We have Aston Martin, no, that's Lyra just starting the lap. And we have, that's a spin, that's George and Haas having a little spin there, coming out the final proper corner. Let's have a look. Lead on the lap. Let's have a look at Y Racer. It's saying purple first, so let's see if he can carry this momentum through the entire lap. He's got an 11.9 to beat from Acorn. It's now been front row at the minute, but only 5 laps have been set and only 4 proper laps. Well, 5 proper laps now. Then 89 goes P3 on an 11.9 as well. So 3.11.9 to start this session. Very close. Here comes Y Racer through the middle sector. It is saying purple, but he did make a little bit of a mistake on that long left-hander before that second DRS straight. So, unless he nailed everything else, I don't think that would have been a purple, sorry. But let's see. It's actually N89 is retired, and Y Racer really struggling with the car there. So N89 is out. The third is the best he's going to manage in this session. Here comes Y Racer. It's been a bit of a scruffy lap from what we've seen. Only 4 tenths off, so definitely potential there for Y Racer. We've seen him lose easily that amount, probably, in the 2 mistakes we've seen in the second half of the lap. What about Lee? What can he do? Coming out the front corner, and Lyra goes P1 on 11.7, so it beats the other guys by about a tenth and a half. As Lee goes P7 with a 12.5. We have Tony about to start a lap. We have Kev and the Ferrari on the lap now. He's just about to come across the second set split. Same purple middle for him as well, so a lot of purple sectors being set. Can he jump his Ferrari teammate and get himself onto the front 2 rows? Or even better, maybe his apex just a tiny bit. That's not going to give him the best run. Here he comes, open to DRS, and now it's just a drag race to the line. It's going to be a good lap here. An 11.5, over 2 tenths on pole, so Kev really setting the benchmark there. Who's on the lap? Tony's on the lap, so let's have a look at Tony. But Kevin, the Ferrari, putting down a pretty good lap from what it seems. Still though, about half the grid, just under half the grid, haven't done a lap yet, so And there are a few fast drivers in there, Newgarden and Gareth probably the two to watch. Let's have a look. Tony, I believe, is backed off. Yeah, Tony's not on a competitive lap. I don't think we have anyone on a competitive lap at the minute, so a little bit of a lull. Let's see if Tony, we'll stay on board with him, see if he goes for it again. I'm not sure if he made a mistake early on and decided to back off and save the tyres, but he's got a decent amount of DRS, so he can go for it if he wants. Just whether he has the fuel, I guess. Excuse me. He goes to DRS and yeah, he's going to go for it. Cheeky little voice crack there. Down into turn 1, hairpin style corner. That's third gear, I'm going to expect. Yeah, there we go. And now you do want to use the curve. He avoids it a little bit. Oh, here, coming into this fast left right. Misses apex just a tiny bit. Now into this banked hairpin. Second gear, you can maybe carry a little bit better momentum in third and get a bit better traction. But he does opt for second gear. That's going to be in the first sector. It's going to be a 25-2. Pretty good there for the long ride. That was a very tricky corner to get your apex and not run wide. He hasn't got much ERS here, so maybe he didn't have enough ERS to actually do that. That could affect his time just a little bit if he does run out. But it's not looking bad here for Tony. This could maybe get him to the top 5. Oh, loses the rear end a little bit there. That's probably going to cost him a tenth and a half maybe. 11.7 seconds off. It's not popping up any purple sectors, so I don't think he's going to trouble the lights off Kev. But can he trouble some others? Out the final corner, now just a flat right to go, but you look at that ERS, he's only got 5%. What's it going to be? It's going to be a 13.2, so he's a little bit off the pace, but they were maybe a little bit older tyres and did run out of ERS. So there is IRT Kia who are having another spin. That's the second spin we've seen from them already in this session. So maybe struggling to get to grips a little bit with this Zandvoort circuit. Is anybody on a lap? Lewis Craig, 1.1 seconds off in the Mercedes. He does need to find a bit of time. Can he maybe reach the 111s? Let's see as he comes around the final corner. It's going to be close, I think. Might just get in. It is an 11.799, so that's him up into P3. Less than a tenth off the front row, less than half tenth off the front row even. We have Acorn about to start lap as well. So maybe a little bit of switching going on here between the two Alpines. Let's have a look. No, in fact, Ryan is going to peel off into the pit. So let's have a look at Acorn. If he can improve on his 11.9, he needs to find just under 4 tenths to get himself onto pole position. Can he do it? Looking good, very committed so far. So the lap started off well. Let's see what the set split says. Coming at the end of this straight. Well, not really a straight, a kink straight. He is nearly 10th off. He's saying purple first and really giving it beans through there. And is that Kia off again? Kia seems to be struggling so far. Oh, Acorn getting all over that curb on entry, and that just unsettles the car just enough to pirouetting round, and Y Racer sets an incredible 111.2. Really good, beating Kev by over 3 tenths. That is going to be a difficult lap to beat. And can anyone beat it? If anyone is going to beat it, it's probably going to be this man, our champion, Gareth. Now that he's sealed up the drivers, it's the constructors that he needs to concentrate on, because I believe we do have quite a intense constructors battle still going on. I'll have a look at it once Gareth finishes this lap. There's Kia pulled over to the side of the road. Losing the rear end a little bit. What's it going to be for the middle? It's going to be a 49.9. Let's see how this lap finishes and where that puts him on the timing board. Going through the final corner now, very nice. Gets that pretty much perfect. And now opens DRS to the line. This should challenge the top 5. It is, gets him P5 on 111.864. Gets him just ahead of Acorn. And Alpine 6-7 now. Let's have a look at the standings then. Here we are. So it is Williams that lead the way in the constructors' standings with 298 points over Alpine with 272. So that is a quick maths 26-point difference. So it can change this race, but it would probably be unlikely. So Alpine just need to try and outscore Williams as best they can. And then Red Bull in P3, only 5 points behind Alpine on 267, so they are 31 points off. So realistically, it is between Red Bull, Alpine, and Williams for the constructors' title, with Williams in pole position at the minute. So let's see if anyone can catch them. I think there's Lyo who has gone P2 in fact while I was looking at the standings, so sorry for missing that. Lyo in the Aston Martin, the man who's shown pace all season, not quite had the consistency. Gets himself up into the front row, so that's good to see. Newgarden comes to the end of a lap here, is he? I think he is. It's going to be a 1:12.2, so only P12 for Newgarden. He'd be a little bit disappointed with that, actually. I think he'd want to be challenging up around the top 5. And that's how most of these drivers want to be. But not everyone can be in the top 5. Only 5 can be in the top 5, believe it or not. Let's have a look at Jordan. A low 24.9 in the first. I think that's quite good. It is saying purple. I'm not sure if it actually is, but definitely a good first set there for Jordan. Faring better than his AlphaTauri counterpart so far. Very committed through this middle sector. Misses his apex maybe just a little bit. Not the best run, but let's see what the time's saying coming through the second sector. So 50.0. So a little bit behind what Gareth was doing. And Gareth was P5. He's only a few thousandths off, so maybe a better last sector, and that could see him up to the top 5 quite easily. Coming around the final corner, going to open the DRS, and now just full throttle to the line. It's going to be an 11.705, a purple last sector there, and that is Jordan up into P4, but still nearly half a second off Y-Racer, who apparently has had an incredible up. And Kev Ruski, as I say that, goes just 200ths behind him with a 2.55 compared to Y-Racer's 2.33. So very close between the two. Acorn 400 starts, he's gone for it again. Let's see how much he's up by after the second sector. And then he loses the rear end again. So a lot of drivers seem to be struggling with keeping that rear end in check and not letting it just pirouette on them. Do we have Kia, the man who we've seen spin a few times, is on an out lap now, so we'll stand by with him because he'll start a lap soon. Pretty much everyone else is in the pits or on an in lap. So Kia, the man at the moment, on debut, I believe. So he's going to whack the DRS up, try and get a good run out the final corner to start his lap. Really wide there. Ooh, that was maybe a little bit too close for comfort, but here we go with Kia. The only driver to not really set a completely representative lap so far, so he'll be hoping to just get a lap on the board. Maybe move him out of 17th, maybe into the top 12 maybe. Very committed, maybe a little bit too committed, and hitting that inside curb, and that causes the car to spin. The Kia is struggling just a tiny bit. Does well to not rejoin the track right in front of that Red Bull. I think that was Newgarden. And now he is stuck on the curb. Kia is really struggling right now. Can he get over that curb? Oh, he's struggling. He's really struggling to get over the curb. Come on, Kia. You can do it. And I hope he gets moving soon, otherwise he's going to get disqualified. It's really unfortunate for the AlphaTauri, and there we go. Kia's been disqualified. That is so unfortunate for him. Getting stuck on the curb on the inside there. Did a good job to avoid Newgarden, but it has come at a cost. He is disqualified from the session. At least the race can't go much worse. But we have a few more people out on track now, about to start a lap, and Newgarden, probably the one to watch. He's going to come out the final corner to start his lap. Opens the DRS. And here we go, hot lap with the Red Bull. A little bit of traffic, but not too much, should be alright. I think Jordan is on the lap anyway in front, so he shouldn't catch Jordan. got on board here how much it's going to be up by through the first sector. Takes a nice line there through the hairpin. And now it's just navigate through these little twists in the most time efficient manner. 24.9, we've seen a lot of 24.9s, but not a low 24.9, which I think you want to be doing if you want to be up there, but the right of the Y race. It's all looking pretty comfortable so far. He's not having the issues with the rear end that we've seen from others. So maybe this could be beneficial in the race for Newgarden. As the other yellow flag there, I think that was just Kev letting Jordan through, who is on the hot lap. So Newgarden 49.9, 4 tenths up. This could see him challenging the top 5. Misses apex just a tiny little bit in the final corner there. But what can he do? Can he get for 111? I think it is going to be. But what 111 is going to be? It's going to be an 11.8 P6. Just a few hundredths off the top 5. Yachty Jordan, I don't think improved on his lap, or if he did, he didn't improve position-wise. Lyo is just starting another lap. Wow. Oh no, never mind. I thought Kev was nearly 3 tenths up on his lap. So that was from his improvement before. But let's have a look at Kev, because he seems to be a man of pace right now. Mid 24.8. That is the best first sector we've seen, at least from people I've been on board with. Look how committed he is. He's really ragging everything out of this Ferrari around Zandvoort. Using all the track, a lot more track than we've seen others use, so no wonder the lap time is very favourable for him. But he does have a little bit of traffic in front. Let's hope if he does catch them, they do get out of the way. So 9.5 is a little bit down, in fact, and he doesn't really get his apex perfectly there through this awkward chicane. Coming to the final proper corner. What can Kev do? I think he's just a little bit too far behind to benefit from the switching. He runs wide but doesn't get invalid, so maybe he lost a bit of time there. He does back off. Lap, and here comes Y Racer now. 24, low 24.7 in the first, and that was still down in the PV. That is crazy. So Y Racer really nailing the first sector. That seems to be where he's finding a lot of time. There's Lyo with 10th and a half up. Could he jump himself up onto pole position right at the death? If he has a good final corner, it's going to be pole position for the Aston Martin man. Here he comes to the line. What can he do? Oh, he stays P3, but less than a 10th off pole. Ryan has not going to improve there. Lewis Craig pretty much equal with his PV at the minute. What can the Mercedes do? He's going to be the next person to cross the line. Can he jump into the top 5 ahead of Ryan? He only needs to find a 10th, and he's gaining a few positions, and he does. He's up to P4 for Lewis Craig. Here's Gareth. Gareth's invalidated. Gareth's qualifying is over. Ryan not on a good lap, and I think that is everyone, unless Tony can do something. Here comes Tony. Jumps up to P14, knocks Fraser down to 15. And I believe that is everyone who's on a lap finish. That is your qualifying order. Y Racer taking pole by just over 200ths of a second from Kev Rusky. Ryan P3, Lewis Craig P4, Jordan rounding out the top 5. With Ryan only 1,000 behind him in 6th place, and then Jack Craig 7th. Newgarden in 8th, Garrett, our champion, having a poor qualifying for his standards, down in 9th. But still less than a second off pole. Acorn rounding up the top 10 and getting both Alpines inside the top 10. That will be good for their constructors' hopes. And then he is just beating out N89, the other Ferrari, with Lee in 12th. And it's McLaren 13th and 14th with Aston Martin and Tony. Arthur 15th, George 16th, and Kia struggling to begin his VSL F2 career, and getting disqualified by getting stuck in the curve. Very unfortunate for him, but the only way is up for him in the race. Let's hope he can improve. So it's Y Racer shushing the rest of the grid, really making a statement there. And I don't believe we got any grid penalties. We didn't, so that's always good. So look at that, the top 14 covered by less than a second, and the top 30 covered by less than 8 tenths. That is really close, just showing how much time these drivers are putting in. I'll have a quick sip of my drink. A nice hot chocolate really goes a long way. But we should have our little 2-minute break before we ready up. Let's see what the weather's like first. But I reckon it's probably going to be dry. But I mean, wet weather always throws up some interesting scenarios. And so hopefully everyone loads in. We did have a little bit of an issue with people loading into qualifying, so hopefully they do not repeat themselves with the race. And hopefully everyone loads in as slowly people are getting ticks next to their name. And now all the ticks disappear. Great. I think we're alright. Is it going to be dry? That is the question on everyone's minds. It is. But it's still a little bit overcast, so maybe there is potential for rain later in the race, but to begin with, it's definitely dry. And maybe the sun peeking through just a tiny bit. But yeah, I think strategy will be an interesting one in this race as well. As Zandvoort is a track where tyre wear isn't too bad. There are a lot of laps though, so I believe most people will go for the one stop, as it is a tricky circuit to overtake. Not too many actual overtaking zones into turn one is really your only sensible bet. But obviously safety cars and whatnot can influence the strategy, as someone has readied up. So we will get the formation up underway in just 20 seconds. And we can have a look at what tyres people are on. Should be a good race, hopefully. Even though the Drivers' Championship is done, the Constructors is all still to fight for. Between Williams, Alpine and Red Bull. Let's have a look. Who is on what? Do I have audio? Oh, good. Let's get the tyres up. So, wow. A big mix of tyres in the top 10. The 5 medium runners, 3 softs and 2 hard. So, a big mix. Lewis Craig, probably the one to watch. So you can see the predicted pit stop strategy. I think if you're on the softs, you will try and go soft medium anyway. Or if you can't do that soft hard, I don't think you want to be making more than one stop if you can help it. But outside the top 10, the medium does seem to be the dominant tyre. But inside the top 10, there are quite a lot of different strategies. And Gareth, our championship leader, starting on the hards. So I'll give you a quick run through of all the starting tyres. So our top 3, that's Y-Racer, Kevrowski and Lyo, all choosing the yellow-walled medium tyres. Lewis Craig going for the softs, then it's BRT Jordan in 5th, going for the hards. So he might struggle a little bit at the start, but should benefit him after the first 10 or so laps, I'd say. And it's Ryan in the Alpine on the mediums, Jack Craig and Newgarden on softs, Gareth, our lowest hard runner and only our second hard runner, in 9th, Acorn, N89 and Lee all starting on the mediums. Then Acid Master, our lowest soft starter, in 13th. Then the final 4 are Tony, Buzzer, George and Kia, all going for the medium. So the majority on mediums, a few softs and very few hards. Should be an interesting one with all these different strategies. But here comes Y-Racer around the final corner with his fish helmet. I do like the fish helmet. Oh no, it might not be the fish helmet actually. I'm getting deceived by the orange. As there he is, trying to weave his tyres and keep as much temperature in them. Wow. Pulling off the 360 into the wall. That is Max Verstappen manoeuvres if I've ever seen them in my life. As even more taking after him now. Who's that? Is that Lee? Y-Racer was disqualified, so his formation up ended awfully. And Lee making sure he's the last one to the grid, have the warmest tyres, especially after that spin. As there he goes now, trying to line up as he does get disqualified. But here we go, the lights will come on. We have a funny looking view, but it's 3, it's 4, it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. But I cannot see who's got a better start, because we have an awful view right now. There we go, there's a better one. And it's Kevrowski, who maybe could have had a look down the inside, but decides to back out. And it's going to be Y-Racer, who maintains the lead in turn 1. And the top 3 seem to have all held position. It's Lewis Craig there in P4 on the softs, Ryan in 5th, VSL Jordan down to 6th. As there's some side-by-side action behind. I think we've had an incident with Acorn. That could be big for the constructors. With an Alpine driver getting involved in an incident there. It's Ryan all over the back of Lewis Craig, but not close enough to make a move. As Y Race has had a really good start. He was already pulled over a second, and there we have Tony out. Tony is out. I think there's been a collision there with Newgarden, so that is big for the constructors. An Alpine and a Red Bull involved, and Lee outside the points as well. So all three of our constructors challenging teams have one driver outside the points, and that is going to be Newgarden. Hands pit for a front wing. Does Acorn have damage? He looks to be unscathed. I think he's alright, but Newgarden's definitely going to have to pit. That was a chaotic first few corners, and we already have a safety car out on track. Tony leaves the session in dismay. But Y Racer really having a great start. 2 seconds in front of it. It was about 1.2 when the safety car did come out, but still, that is an incredible start for the Red Bull, doing exactly what they need to get their constructors' hopes back on track and alive. So let's have a look if we have any pitters. I believe we will not, apart from Newgarden. In fact, Acorn pitting as well, so maybe he did pick up some damage from that turn 4 collision. I think it was in turn 4. I didn't quite see what happened, but he's going to go for the hard tyres. Is he going to get a front wing change? No. No front wing change for the Alpine, just tyres. But Newgarden definitely will. Here he comes onto the medium tyres. So I don't remember what he started on, in fact. I think he was on the mediums. So it is Newgarden going on to another set of mediums. Let's have a quick check of that, because if he is... Will my restart to work? There we go. Let's have a quick check. What did Newgarden start on? He started on softs, in fact. So he has used 2 compounds, so he is alright. But these two now got to catch up to the pack. There's we have the Mercedes safety car for tonight. But yeah, pretty clean at the front from what I've seen. I didn't see any major contact. The contact seemed to have happened further back. As we've had some good starters actually. Acid Master seems to have had a very good start, utilising the soft tyres brilliantly, up 4 positions. Same for Bazza and George up 4, and Kia starting last. There's well, 3 places as well. Our big losers aren't the Alpine and the Red Bull, losing 5 and 8 places. And Ryan and Jordan swapping positions as well, but the top 4 all held position. And they will hold position under the safety car as well. Now we just wait for Newgarden to catch up. These tyres should be nice and warm for the restart. Being able to push full pace. In fact, we do have a pit. It's Kia. Has he picked up damage maybe on the under the safety car? Hope not. He did have a good start. It does seem to be just a strategic call to go onto the hards. Maybe Kia and the AlphaTauri is going to try and go to the end, following the steps of Acorn, perhaps. There he is, exiting the pit lane. He now needs to catch up. It is quite hard to do a safety car restart on the hards, because when the hards are cold, there is no grip in them whatsoever. And it can be tricky to keep the car in a straight line sometimes. But yeah, Kia just catching up now. Newgarden and Acorn have already caught up. They are on the back of the train. As here comes Kia. So we should be going this time by, I'd imagine. As we'll watch the lights on top of the safety car, see if they do go out. And we get a message from race control at the top of our screen. There we go. Safety car in this lap, so he will speed off into the distant Bert Mylander. Like a virtual Bert Mylander. Now it is down to Y Race to control the pace and keep the temperature in his tyres and try and fool the drivers behind into not reacting very well. So as you can see, them all weaving right now. When that safety car enters the pits, Y Racer is free to go whenever he wants, as long as it's before the start finish line. No overtaking until then, obviously. If you do, it'll be illegal and you will have to give position back or face the wrath of the stewards and get a penalty. As there goes Y Racer, he's gone a little bit early. This could maybe give Lyle a chance to get ahead of Kev. Is he going to go off the outside line? He brakes late, tries to go running it all the way around the outside. And I think he might be able to do it here. Better traction, and that is Lyle Blade making a incredible move up into P2 there. Can Kev come back? I don't think he's going to be able to. He's right at the back of the Aston Martin, but no moves to be made. Acid Master make a move on Gareth, and there is Gareth out of the race. Our champion not having a champion-esque drive. He is out. I do not know what's happened. He hasn't hit the wall hard, but his wheel has crumbled. That is huge. I mean, not for the drivers, but for the constructors. This is massive. At the minute, Williams will be scoring 0 points. Wow. So there goes Gareth. Gareth is out. That is a very rare sight in VSL Tier 2. Anyway, back to the on-track action. Here comes Jack Craig on the back of Jordan, going for a late dive there, it looked like, but manages to keep it clean and not actually go down the inside. I think that would have resulted in contact if he would have gone down the inside there. As we have moves further back, his Bazza maybe made a little bit of a mistake and lost a couple of positions there. Here comes Newgarden on those pressure softs down the inside and gets the move done. Acorn on his hard up to 11th with Y-Race and then Liarblade setting the fastest lap. Here comes Kev, and around the outside, not quite, he's going to have to settle into third position again, as Y-Race hasn't been able to pull the gap that he had before when he had that over 1 second gap before the safety car. Now he's staying between 5 and 7 tenths, so Lara just needs to keep this gap for this lap, and then the DRS will be enabled and he can think of making an overtake for the lead. Everyone is really close, no one's really dropped off here. 1.7 seconds off all the way at the back, but that is on hard tyres. We have some battling in the midfield. Oh my! That was... I'm not too sure what's happened there, but N89 was really not at the right angle to take that corner. He must have been hit, surely. That was a really weird bit of contact there that I only caught the end of, unfortunately. I think that involved Lee. He is down to 14. So I'm not too sure what's happened there, but that was quite heavy contact. Nobody out, luckily. So we carry on. Acid Master on the back of this little train involving Jordan and Jack Craig. It's Y-Race, then Live setting the lap, and then Lewis Craig. A lot of fastest starts being set right now. Is Lewis Craig going to maybe look down inside? He's not. He's in a hold position right now. And DRS enabled, so overtakes start flooding in. Jordan needs to try and catch just a tiny bit to Ryan in front. 5 seconds penalty there for Lee. For speeding, him and N89 are in the pit. They will probably have wind damage from that contact, I'd imagine. But everyone, at least in the top 8, sticking within a second of each other, so maybe a bit of a DRS train potentially forming. And Y-Racer is putting in a bit of graft to try and get out of that 1 second window. But Lio will get DRS here, I believe. There we go, the DRS is open. Let's get telemetry up so we can see. There is the DRS. And he has burnt quite a lot, has Lio. I'd imagine most of that was on the Kev overtake. Here we go. Coming down the main straight with DRS for the first time. Lio 7 tenths behind Y-Racer for the lead. How close can he get? Once again, this isn't the easiest track to overtake at. He's not going to have a chance this time by as Y-Racer does set the fast lap of 14.663. And Lewis Craig in fact has dropped out of DRS on the soft, so I'd be surprised if his softs are already dead. I would have thought they would have lasted a little bit longer. But anyway, he needs to get his head down and push now to get back within 1 second. And Jordan doing a good job on the hards. As we have the yellows, it is Kia, I believe. Kia has spun. We've seen him spin there in qualifying, and he has spun there again in the race, but managed to get it going again, so that's good to see. As Ryan and Lewis Craig kind of holding up a little train here. We have a yellow flag in set 2, that is George in the house. George in the house to have a little spin. So drivers carrying over their struggling form from qualifying, and they'll continue to struggle in the race. But Lyle was a lot closer this time coming through the final actual corner. Can he make a move into turn 1? Let's see, it's burning and he's got the DRS. He's got no ERS left, he's used it all. Is he going to have a lunge maybe, or try and make a similar move to the one he made on Kev? Go roll all the way around the outside. No, he's going to have to back out of it. Maybe try a switch back, but it's not on. and Kevin's back, setting the fastest lap behind. He's really close to these two, so it is a little bit of a three-car battle for the lead, with Lewis Craig struggling a bit for pace now. When will we see him peel off into the pits? I imagine it'll be soonish. But these three, the top three, separated by about 7/10. That is incredibly close. We have another spin. I think it's George again. So George struggling a little bit, maybe overheated his tyres, and he has straight up left the lobby without retiring and has caused a safety car. So that is our second safety car, and that could be a saving grace for the soft runners. This is a good time to pit, and I'd imagine we'd see them go onto the hard tyres. That's the only tyre I can see them going on. But we'll have a look. I don't think the medium runners will pit. What they might do, I think we could see some strategies split now. This also is good for N89 because he's nearly a lap down. You can see there on the minimap, just coming into turn one as Y-Racer crosses line. In fact, Y-Racer is going to pit. The leader is going to pit. What's he going to go on to? You'd imagine hards. So the soft runner's coming in as well. So there goes Y-Racer next to his pit box with the hard tyres on. And we actually have medium tyres going on to the soft runners. Newgarden gets a 5-second time limit for speed in the pit lane. So that is not too good for him. And, so Lyle is our leader now on 8-lap-old mediums. The top three all on the 8-lap-old mediums. Jack Craig, who pit 1 lap ago, jumps Baz up and gets ahead of Baz up. And this is quite good for the people that have pit. I mean, Y-Racer has pit and come out in 6th place. So he really won't be that far off the lead when we get going again. He'll be quite close. George's AI is picked for softs, which is a questionable decision. But yeah, I imagine his AI will drop to the back once we get racing again. So the top 5 are yet to pit, except for Acorn, who pit at the end of lap 1, I believe. But he will have to pit again, I'm pretty sure. I don't think his hards will go the entire race, unless I am extremely mistaken. And 89 has pit, and he will get out on the lead lap, so he can catch up to the back of the safety car train if he manages to do so in time. Nobody from the front 5 decided to pit this time by. They all, well, the top 4 definitely need to pit to follow regulations. Then whether Acorn can press the end or not is up for debate. But everyone else behind, apart from Bazar, has pit, and the strategy is up to them. Where are the people at the back? So N89 is at the back. The leader's just coming out of the hairpin in sector 1, and he is just about to start sector 3 in about 5 seconds time. So hopefully he catches relatively quick. We will be getting some nice temperature into these hard tyres though, same as what Kia was able to do under the first safety car. I'm not really too sure how the safety car was caught, because George, he only spun, he didn't retire, and that seems to cause a full safety car. I don't know if it was him leaving the lobby to cause the game to call out the safety car, but anyway. I don't think it will come in this lap. I think it will definitely come in at the end of the next lap. I think it can only stay out for 3 laps maximum, or 4 laps. So N89 does need to try and catch as quick as he can, because I don't think he's got too long to catch until the safety car comes in. And he's still quite a way behind, about 30 seconds off the back of the train. I think Lee will be alright. He's nearly caught up already, so he will definitely catch. But whether N89 can catch or not is the story at the minute, while we are under this safety car. as it starts lap 10. He is about halfway through lap 9. He is really pushing, you can see. He's not wasting any time. There's Newgarden pits. Newgarden pitting again for another set of mediums, is he? No, he's going on to hards. So he's going to try and go to the end on those hards, you'd imagine. And will he get out ahead of an 89? This could be quite close, actually. You can't really see him over the pit wall. Who's going to come out in front, though? I think it's the N89. N89 jumps Newgarden, who exits the pits about 2 seconds behind him, maybe 1.5 or 1.6 even. And yeah, they are going to catch. They are not too far behind now, so we should be able to go racing at the end of this lap, which is good. We want as many racing laps as possible. And I'm sure the top 5 will, well, the top 4 will be pondering on what strategy they can pull off now with these early safety cars, allowing people, especially those who start on softs, to have maybe the favourable strategy now. Normally starting on softs does hinder you, but if you get a safety car around by this time, it can be very good for the strategy. But it's up to Lyle now to control the pace. Can he do it as successfully as Y-Race did and maintain the lead? He will warm his tyres up, coming towards the penultimate corner. And when will he decide to go is the big question. Still weaving out the penultimate corner. The safety car's about to enter the pit lane. There it goes into the pit, so he can go whenever he wants now. When will he decide to go? Will he leave it late or will he go early? There we go, he's gone. And in fact, Ryan gets a great jump on Kev. Too good a jump. He's going to have to give that position back. There he goes, he lifts off. Gives that position back. That allows Jordan to go to the outside. I think Jordan got on the grass there in the braking zone, and actually Ryan's got down inside of Kev. Can Ryan make the move? They're side by side. We'll go on board with Jordan, who gets the best view of this. Ryan decides to back out. A smart driving there from the Alpine. Live to fight another day. I think it's the best as Acorn and Y-Racer, Red Bull and Alpine fighting in the constructors side by side. A little bit of wheel banging there on the straight. Side by side, and it's going to be Y-Racer who's ahead coming out of the first sector. And all single file now. That is the best way to go through here. As Lewis Craig, that is, bumping the back of the Alpine. And he's in fact got Acid Master on his outside. Ooh, all over the curve there for Lewis Craig. Manages to hold onto the car. It's very easy to lose the car if you hit the curve that heavy. But he manages to hold on. And now it's Lewis and Jack Craig. I'm going to assume they're brothers. Bit of brotherly rivalry, essentially. Let's hope their vision doesn't get clouded. As Lewis Craig isn't looking behind at his brother, he is looking in front of the McLaren. And they are just holding position right now. Lyo's got 6.5 tenths over Kev at the minute. So a successful restart for the Aston Martin. In fact, Kev is coming down in fact quite quick. Kev has very good straight line speed and is burning a little bit of the RF. He's not going to be close enough to make a move though, I don't believe. No, he's not. So going to be moves further down. Here we have Acid Master really lunging it down the inside of Acorn. And pushes Acorn just a tad wide. And could that allow Lewis Craig to maybe have a cheeky gander? He's not going to. He's going to stay behind the Alpine and wait maybe for DRS. It gets enabled at the beginning of the next lap. He does lose the rear end a little bit on the exit of the hairpin. Could that allow it out for a minute to have a look? No, he's going to settle in to 9th position right now. Buzzer rounding out the top 10. He is teetering on the DRS second. He's just outside it at the minute. And he is on older tyres. He hasn't pit yet. So Buzzer maybe struggling with tyre life. Soon. Not yet, I wouldn't imagine on the mediums. As we have Kia having a spin there. He's going to drop to the back. And that is 15th place for him at the minute. There's a Lion nearly pulls out of DRS. He's going to be pretty close to it, but Kev seems to have the superior straight line speed and gains it all back on the straight. Look at that. That gap was teetering on the edge of the second, and now it's below 5 tenths nearly. But it's this midfield battle that's really close at the minute. Y-Racer, the highest of the pit stoppers, so he's net P1 at the moment, as I think he has had another spin on the exit of the final corner. So he is struggling a little bit. Let's hope he can get his head down and just try and get a bit of consistency. But here is Y Racer. He looks really quick at the minute. He was leading this race before he did pit. Remember that. He has been the fastest man throughout qualifying and the first few laps. And here he is now, maybe lining up Jordan for an overtake as Lee gets past Baz and knocks Baz out of the top 10. But they do have a bit of a gap to close if they want to get to the top 9. Nearly 3 seconds between 9th and 10th. But Y Racer seems to be the person hunting. He's hunting a top 4 at the minute. And Kev is pretty close to Lio. He's got DRS and ERS and very good straight line speed. Is he going to go down the inside? Not quite. He may dummy to try and force Lion to a mistake, but Lion does not crack under the pressure. Here goes Lewis Craig on Acorn. Doesn't get the move done, does he? He can try and hold around the outside, but I don't think the move is on. And in fact, Y Racer has got Jordan, and Jordan gets punted by Acid Master. And that is horrible for the AlphaTauri. He nearly gets stuck on the curve, just like Kia did in qualifying, but he manages to get going again, down in P10 now, so that is awful for the AlphaTauri. We know quite his own, just getting a little tap there through the hairpin and having a half spin that's cost him a lot. And here is Kev, only 2 tenths behind Lio. So Kev wants to get this move done now. He feels he has more pace than the Aston Martin. What's the ERS saying? A lot more ERS used by Kev than Lio, so maybe that is the reason for the pace. Let's see if he does get past. Can he try? And oof! Pull away, that was so nearly more contact on this lap for the field as Kev nearly tapped the back of our race leader, Lio. And there's moves going on all over the place. It's Bazza and N89 side by side now as N89 gets moved on, but we need to go back and board the leaders. So I think there is an overtake coming here. He has no ERS though. Kev has used all his battery already, and now he's just going to have to settle in behind us. We have another safety car. So that is perfect time for Acorn and Jordan to come into the pits for fresh tyres. Same for Bazo. Is anyone else behind going to pit? George pitting as well. That's his AI though, I believe. Is that right? I don't know, it might be. But the top 3, you'd imagine are going to pit under this safety car and go hardest to the end. I think it's a no-brainer. That will promote Y Racer back to the lead, with Acid Master in behind him, as we are nearly halfway through this race and we are already on our 3rd safety car, so the driver is struggling a little bit to keep it clean today. Well, we have only had 2 retirements, one of them obviously being our championship winner, our champion Gareth. I'm not sure if there was contact. I'd imagine there was. I didn't quite see it. I only seen him spinning off into the wall, but maybe a bit of contact resulting in Gareth spinning and losing tyre on the exit of the turn 4 hairpin. So let's have a look. What are these front 3 going to do? Here they come now. They are all going to pit. No, Ryan stays out. So Ryan is going to take the lead on 16 lap old mediums. So he decides not to pit. Let's see what's Lio and Kev going to go on. Kev goes on hards. What does Lio go on to? He goes on hards as well. So both of them deciding that hards are the play. And does Lio get out in front? That was going to be close. He does, just ahead of the Ferrari. And Ryan is just about to catch the back of the safety car. There it is. So Ryan is now our leader. He's going to be our 3rd different leader under the safety car. What's happened there? Lee has had a bit of a spin under the safety car and has lost a position to Lio and Kev. He manages to stay ahead of Jordan though. And what Bazza pit for mediums, he managed to pit as well. That was his mandatory pit stop out of the way. He could try to go to the end now. Let's see, is Kia going to pit? Kia is going to pit. So, the man in last place is going to decide to take the opportunity to put on some fresh tyres. and he needs to focus on getting out in front of the safety cars. He is having a wing change, so I don't know if he's had a little bit of an incident on that lap or whether that was from a previous incident. He goes into the softs though, which I'm almost certain I'm not going to be able to get him to the end, but there we are. He comes out just in front of the safety car pack, so he's got some catching to do. Just like N89 did last time round. N89 in fact has had a really good stint. He's up into 6th from starting all the way at the back under the safety car. And Newgarden, who was behind him, is in 7th as Lee does retire in the pits. So he's had enough. He calls it a day. So we are down to 14. Only 2 more need to retire and then everyone is guaranteed points. As the top 12 do score points here in VSL. I'm 99% sure. But yeah, as we wait for a few people to catch. Well really it's just Kia, he's the only one that's not on the back of his train at the minute. I don't think it will come in this lap, I think it will come in at the end of next lap, so he does have time. But a split strategy throughout the grid between mediums and hards, and obviously Kia on the softs, but there is only one individual that does still need to pit, it's this man here, Ryan. In the Alpine, they are in the Constructors' battle, and he is maybe he can try and hold up Y-Racer, get Acid Master or Lewis or Jack Craig in front of him. And where is the lead? Well, obviously the Williamses are out, so no points being scored for Williams today. So this does give a big opportunity to Red Bull and Alpine to gain some big points and catch Williams in the Constructors. So the safety car not in this lap, so that is good for Kia, who will be able to catch, I'd imagine. He is nearly a minute behind though. So that gap will obviously come down pretty quick. So, starting lap 19, we are over halfway through the Dutch GP, and is that a McLaren going to pit? No, it looked like Aston Master was going to pit, but he does stay out. Is anybody going to take the opportunity to pit? It doesn't look like it. No, everyone stays out, so no people deciding to pit late on. So we go around once again, and I think we'll be coming in this lap no matter what. So hopefully Kia can catch in time. He is just over 35 seconds behind. Ryan's tyres are surely going to be feeling a little bit worse for wear. They are 18 laps old, although there has been about 6 or 7 of those laps under the safety car, so maybe they are not in too bad nick. They might be okay for a few more laps yet. Maybe he's gambling on another safety car in a few laps time, and then he can go into the softs perhaps. I'm not sure what his strategy he's got in mind is. I mean, he will know that. But everyone else's strategies behind seem pretty set in stone, except for maybe these 3 medium runners. It'll be close to whether they can get to the end. I think with all these safety car laps they might be able to do it, but if they can't they will be rapid when they do get that set of softs on, as the safety car is in this lap, and Kia is about 20 seconds off. But obviously they will back off a little bit extra to give the safety car time to peel up into the pits, but even with that I don't think Kia is going to catch, so unfortunately for him I think he's going to be a little bit behind already at the safety car restart. As Jack Craig getting really close to Lewis Craig there, and he does it again and nearly hits Mercedes twice. I'm really hoping they don't come to blows. Might have a little bit of IRL beef there if if that does happen. Oh wow, Jack Craig getting really risky on the back of that Mercedes. And when is Ryan going to go? He's gone now. He's gone really early, a lot earlier than the other two have. And it's worked for him. He's 4-10 gap to Y-Racer in front. So it's definitely worked. He holds the lead, but how much slower will his pace be than everyone else on those older tyres? We have moves going on behind us. Lyle and Newgarden. So Lyle on a lot fresher tyres than the Red Bull, and he's trying to make that move now, but he does have to back out of it. And this Kevin maybe have a look. No, and Jordan in fact on the medium. He gets a really good exit out of the hairpin. He's going to be able to get side by side with the Ferrari. The Ferrari in the lead room. He is a good racing to move for a minute. I think Jordan's probably going to have to back out of this. He does. And waits for a better opportunity. And in fact, there could be a switch back on here. He's going to be lunging. No, he does back out, but maybe forces Kev to a little bit of a mistake, missing his apex once again. So Kev maybe feeling the pressure a little bit off the Alpha Tauri behind. Really having to compromise his lines for Acorn as well, looking for a move on Jordan. So it's eat or be eaten at the minute in this midfield. Out front things seem a little bit calmer, but not too much calmer as Y-Racer just under half a second behind Ryan out front. He is burning, he's nearly burnt, he's burnt over half his battery on the opening lap alone. But Ryan has done similar. Asmas looking a little bit better for that, as Kia's had a spin coming up the penultimate corner. Hopefully no more safety cars. As Kev and Jordan in fact are side by side, and Jordan gets the move done. So he spends about half a lap, maybe close to a full lap, trying to get that move done on the Ferrari, but he has managed to get it done now. And is Acorn going to have a look? He has a really good run out of the hairpin, and that is going to be the move done for the Alpine. So that's the Ferrari down to 11th. He has called it a day in the pit lane. Here's Lyle though, he seems to be having solid pace. Look at how much more speed he carried than the Red Bull through that corner there. He is only 2 tenths behind. Maybe has a little look down the inside, but manages to back out of it cleanly. No DRS yet, just enabled at the end of this lap. Jack Craig just over a second behind Lewis Craig in front, so he needs to have a good last set to try and get back in that DRS, and he has. He's had a really good run, he's nearly going to be back within it. But this front four, all within a second. Ryan on 21 lap old mediums when he crosses the line, so he is on a very worn rubber right now. And DRS enabled, that could allow Y-Racer to make the move. He does make a little bit of a mistake in turn 1 there. The gap opens up to about 7.5 tenths. Maybe it could be Acid Master looking to make the move before Y-Racer, but Y-Racer manages to close up with that tyre differential. And Jack Craig in fact has caught to the back, so this is now a 5-car train with N89 playing a little bit behind in 6th. He is not under too much pressure from Newgarden, who is in fact under a lot more pressure than from Lyo. So Lyo, the man who started in 2nd place, down in 8th at the minute, but he has got fresh tyres compared to everyone else in front. So he could be one who comes into a lot of his own at the end. And it's Y-Racer who's on the back of Ryan. Acid Master has fallen out of DRS, and I don't think he will get it, but here comes Y-Racer to get himself back into the lead. He's going to look down the inside of Ryan, and Ryan not really going to defend it too heavily. He lets the Red Bull go, tries to get a switch car, but Y-Racer does well to defend the inside and keep that lead. Looks to the outside line there. Oh, and there's contact! There is contact between N89 and Lyo, and they both spun out, and no wings on either car, and that's another safety car. So the 4th safety car of the day. Ryan's prayers have been answered there. So the later safety car that Ryan was hoping for has appeared. He has rubbed his magic lamp, and a genie in the form of Bert Mylander has popped out. So he will undoubtedly pit the softs now. And we could see a few more people pit even, because I think this is soft territory to the end. And Y-Racer is in a little bit of a predicament right now, being the lead car. Obviously if you pit and no one else does, you're going to find yourself all the way down the field, but if you don't pit and everyone else behind does, you are really in the mud. So that contact between N89 and Lyo, I didn't really get the best view of it. I was on board with Lyo and then he just spun around. So I'm going to imagine that N89 was on his outside, and it does depend whether Lyo is squeezing or N89 maybe should have backed out. I didn't obviously get the best view, so I'm not going to judge, but here we go. Y-Racer pits, Ryan obviously does. I think we're going to have everyone into the pits for softs. But will someone, maybe like Jordan, stay out? Jordan does stay out, but so does Newgarden. So these lot are going to take advantage of all the pitters in front and jump up lots of positions all the way to the front. So there's going to be a lot of fast cars at the back and a lot of not slow cars, but cars on older tyres that maybe don't have quite the ultimate pace at the front. So it's Newgarden. The lead has gone from one Red Bull to the other. Bazza all the way up in 5th. He's doing very well. But no softs. I was wrong with it being soft territory. In fact, it's fresh mediums, and in the case of Ryan, fresh hards. And Lyra and N89, they're just leaving the pits. So this could be very interesting. A lot of moves need to be made. Can the Y Racer get his way through the 5 people in front of him? They're on older tyres. He'll have about 11 laps to do it when the safety car comes in. Depending on how fast Lyra and N89 catch. And so about an overtake just over every 2 laps. I think it's doable. But maybe another safety car, who knows? That would be our 5th safety car. We're on our 4th now, and we're only 24 laps in. We are averaging a safety car about every 7 laps. No, about every... Oh no, every 6 laps. Yeah, my maths is poo. But there we go, a safety car every 6 laps. So by my calculations, we will have 2 more safety cars. I'm not even sure how many safety cars. I think there is a limit. Maybe 4 is the limit. Maybe we won't have any more, but who knows? This is VSL. Anything can happen. Will any of these guys decide to pit out front? I think Newgarden maybe should have pit with 14 lap old hards. They're going to be 26 laps old at the end. They are going to be heavily worn. And George and Lyra there having a little bit of a kerfuffle. Here comes N89 catching to the back of the pack. And we will be ready to go this time by with everyone caught up. So it's just about now keeping old tyres warm and being prepared, saving the ERS, saving fuel if you need to, although I'm sure everyone has saved enough fuel already. But we still do see a few, well, I think there might be a glitch with the fuel light there. Let's have a look at people who have gained the most positions. So Bazza is up 10 places. I did say he's having a good race, and he definitely is. Newgarden, our leader, up 7. Acorn in 4th, up 6. Acid Master up 5. Same for George. And our big losers, or our biggest loser, is Lyra, who did start 3rd? I thought he started 2nd. He might have started 3rd. Down 9 places at the minute. Yeah, so how many? So Newgarden, who is in the lead, has done 4 pit stops. He has gone through the pits 4 times. That is incredible to see, really. Who's got the fastest lap? It is YRS for the fastest lap in the minute with a 14.3. I expect it to change with the amount of people on fresh tyres they've got in this lap. But no penalties for anyone, that is good to see. So everything at the minute is on track. Whatever happens on track sticks. Except if there's any steward reports after the race, which there could be, involving Lyra and N89. But here we go then. For the 4th time, we've had 3 successful safety car restarts for the leaders. Can Newgarden make it 4th and 4? I'm going to have a quick sip of my drink before we go. So we are ready. Newgarden warming round the banking. Gets the overtake button on and he goes. He hammers it. And he does get the jump. And here comes Kev. He's burning. Is he going to lunge it down the inside? He's not quite going to. And Bazza, in fact, is making a move, maybe. In fact, no, not making a move. Trying to hold off Y Racer. But Y Racer, really good traction. And just go all around the outside of him. So there's one move done already. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. It is, it's Bazza, who's higher in P5, really high up, having a really good race. We've had a spin and finds himself now, relegated down to 13. And here comes Y Racer trying to get past Acorn. Acorn's up the inside line, which is definitely the superior line into here. Look how Y Racer's got all around the outside, he's got to be careful. Incredible battling between the Alpine and the Red Bull. They both know what this means for the constructors. With both Williams out, this could be huge. Now surely if you're Acorn, you try and let Ryan go, because Ryan is in really good position to potentially win this race. Surely Acorn doesn't battle this too hard. He's going to. No, he's not. He's going to let him go, so he lets him go a lot easier, and that's caused contact with Acid Master. Lewis Craig, I think, gets through alright, but Acid Master and Acorn have had contact. That's good for the Red Bull, but it's not good for Alpine, with Acorn getting maybe tapped and swung around, and Y Racer's left. Y Racer has disconnected all the drama. The man who was surely going to win this race with fresh tyres has has disconnected, and Lewis Craig, I think, did get involved, does have wing damage. So the Mercedes into the pits, getting a through new front wing. It's all kicking off right now. Acorn clean this time. Is Acorn going to go for the switch back? Use their side by side, and Acorn backs out of it, and that is going to be. Oh, in fact, Azumaster nearly hits the wall. Manages to just keep out of it, and has to try and save the car. Loses countless seconds there, and that is probably because the yellow flag and buzzer to maybe get a run. He's not quite going to be close enough. So let's go back to the front because it's Jordan and Newgarden. Newgarden has held on to the lead for all that drama. So much happening all at once there. It's Jordan on the back. The DRS will be enabled after this lap. And who's in the best position now? You'd have to look at Ryan or Jack Craig. As we have another spin now. That's Y-Racer. Y-Racer is back. Y-Racer is back in the car, but he has had a spin. So I'm not sure if that had something to do with him rejoining. Maybe not quite ready to take control of the car, having a bit of a spin there. Here's Acorn and then 89. So Acorn recovered quite well from that little incident there. Gets himself up the inside of an 89. No overtakes he had there. So he is in good position to make the move. But here we have Jack Craig on the back of Ryan. Nothing to be done. Here comes the other Alpine trying to gain position as his teammate defends one further up. But no, doesn't quite have the certain speed of the throw to make the move. This battle in the top 5, really interesting. Has Y-Race got damage? No, his front wing looks okay, but those tyres are taking a beating from that spin, and he has 6.5 seconds to find to the people in front. So really, a door has opened here for Lewis Craig in the Alfa Romeo. He is on fresh mediums and is only about just over 2 seconds off the lead. And DRS is now enabled as well, so maybe a bit of battle in the front could allow him to catch up to Newgarden, Jordan and the likes of that. But I think Jordan will be having a look this time round. How much ERS? He has a lot more ERS than Newgarden. He has a lot more to burn. There you can see Newgarden's light flashing already. We haven't even started the straight properly. He's burning, got the DRS. Look at the run he's got. That's a huge run. He's going to be way in front of the racing zone. And there you go, we have a lead change. It's Jordan into the lead in 13 lap old mediums. And Y-Racer set the fastest lap. Coming back strong, and Acorn is out. Acorn is out of this race. And we have another safety car. Another safety car. Now this is soft territory. Who's going to pit for softs? Who is going to pit? We have Buzzer in the pits. He's going to go onto the softs. But he's not really going to gain much from pitting this early. Lewis Craig surely going to pit for softs. So I expect Lyra to as well. In fact, I expect nearly everyone's pit for softs because I imagine it's going to be a huge advantage, especially for the likes of Newgarden on 19 lap old hards. Softs are going to be seconds a lap quicker. And I don't think he's going to lose too many positions. If nobody else pits, I still think he'll come out in about 7th or 8th. So it's a no-brainer. Because here we have Lewis Craig goes into fresh hards. Maybe people have used up all their softs. Lying onto a little bit used mediums. So let's have a look. What are the leaders going to do? And it's our 5th safety car. So we are still on target for the 6th that I predicted, which could be huge. So we have people in, but not everyone. Newgarden stays out, interestingly. That is Jordan on fresh softs. Same for Ryan. Y-Racer stays out. What are the people behind him? If N89 is going to pit, George is going to stay out. Acid Master pits. So it's going to be 5 people deciding not to pit and a few on very old tyres. Jack Craig and Y-Racer I can maybe understand, but the hard runners I thought would pit. There's N89 there, gets a new front wing. Is he going to manage to get out ahead of Buzzer? Lewis Craig picks up a time penalty under the safety car. That is a bit of a silly mistake from the Mercedes. But anyway, he's going to have to concentrate now, because he will have that 3 seconds looming over his head. Is he going to pit? No, he's going to stay on those hards. I'm not sure. He must not have a fresh set of mediums to go on to for the end here. So, do we have a 5 stopper yet? Yeah, we do. N89 is our first 5-stopper. I never thought I'd see that in a league race. 5 stops. That is crazy. So we have Newgarden, who will be on 26 or 27 lap old hards at the end, and Kev, who will be on about 20 lap old hards at the end, against people like Jack Craig and Y-Racer, who are going to be on pretty old mediums at the end, and then all these drivers who are going to be on brand new softs. So a real pace dynamic I expect, and surely that's going to lead to big battles, which is obviously exactly what we want to see. But we need to wait for people to catch up, and it's Laya who's is our last runner at the minute. But he's not too far behind, so he might be able to catch before the end of the next lap, which hopefully he can do, although I imagine the soft runners... Actually no, I think they will want the race to start as quick as possible, because then they have as many laps as they can to make the overtakes. So the people who have stayed out will want the safeguard to stay out for a long time, just so there isn't the opportunity for them to lose positions, especially Newgarden. He's got it all to lose now. So he has had a practice at having a safety car restart, so he knows what he's doing. He successfully did it last time, so I don't see any reason why he won't be successful this time. So I think we're going to have 5 racing laps. So that means we will get DRS for the final 2, or final 3 even, although you only really get it at the end of the lap. So this should be very interesting and very exciting. Ooh, Lewis Craig getting very close to Acid Master there. He's on fresh softs. So Bert Mylander, for what I'd imagine would be the final time, zooms off into the distance. Newgarden keeping up quite a not slowing down as much as previous, but I imagine he'll do that now. Yeah, there he goes. He's not weaving just yet. He does. Surely he's going to weave to try and get a bit of tyre temp. I think he's going to try and go as early as possible and try and catch Kev out. But Kev has got to watch out for Jack Craig behind. So there's the weaving there. When is the Red Bull going to decide to go? Is he going to go early? I think he will. There we go. He's gone. Let's have a look at Jack Craig. He seems to have a very good run. Can he time this overtake perfectly? He is. There we go. He crossed lines, and now he can overtake. Here comes Y-Racer down inside. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Who's going to make the move? So I think it's going to be... Oh no, Y-Racer gets on the curve, spins, and then gets collected by Kev, who unfortunately... I'm not sure if there was contact there with Jack Craig, but Kev lost the rear end and takes out Y-Racer. Now we have more spinners. 789 who's spun now. So he's on fresh softs in the spun. Y-Racer's down to 11, so that's his race done. But this opens the door for a lot of people, Jack Craig especially, and Jordan, who's our highest soft runner and highest medium runner. Now, can Newgarden hold on very old hards? He's got a mammoth task in front of him. So it's the Red Bull, Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri fighting for the win here in Zandvoort. What a race it's been, and what a race I imagine it's going to be in these final 4 laps. Jack Craig burning, he's going to go for a move here. It's a bit unconventional. He's going to launch down the inside. Nice. Ooh, that's going to be close. Kev. Not Kev. Kev does lose possession of that. But Newgarden manages to hold it in. I think he's going to lose position here. Is he? He's going to try and go all the way around the outside of the final corner. They're going to be side by side for the final corner. Can Newgarden get a run? Here comes Jordan. They're all burning and weaving all over the place. Is Jordan going to look? Oh, he gets blocked off there, and he taps into the back of Jack Craig, and Jack Craig does hold on to the lead. Can Jordan get ahead of Newgarden? They're side by side. Newgarden's going to lose out here. He doesn't have the tyres anymore. Newgarden sends it in, but Jordan, oh, they touch. Jordan gets the move, and there goes Acid Master, and Newgarden's round. Newgarden is round, and he's been collected by somebody. Who was it? I think it might have been Ryan, maybe, who taps Newgarden there as he spun. But I'm not too sure what's happened. But oh, that absolute drama in the first 2 laps after the safety car. Absolute drama here. So it's Jack Craig into the lead. He's on mediums. He's got Jordan behind on the softs. So Jordan should have a pace advantage. Jack Craig will have 3.5 laps to hold on here. DRS will be enabled from next lap onwards. In fact, no, it might have already been enabled. And there's so much is happening. We do not know who's going to win this race. The leader is changing every lap. Lewis Craig finds himself up in fourth, but unfortunately he does have that penalty. But with everything that's happened so far, nothing is concrete. Jack Craig has not much DRS. There we go, DRS is enabled now. Aston Master in P3, he's kind of appeared out of nowhere. And Lyo going down the inside of Lewis Craig. There we go, Lyo up into P4 on those older medium tyres. But Jordan right on the back. Here's Bazza in fact. Bazza getting past Ryan. I think Ryan was the person who got hit by N89 as he spun around. Not N89, sorry, New Garden. So Ryan does have damage. He's going to have to try and nurse that Alpine home. So in fact, it started off with a Williams double DNF, but none of the constructors' fires are going to score major points as it stands. The best score is going to be Ryan in 7th. So nothing happening good here. Oh, Baz has had a spin now. That could promote a few people. That's Ryan up into 6th, George up into 7th. But it's this battle for the lead that we need to watch. As for the first time, Jordan's going to have DRS down the main straight, and we will have more ERS. Let's have a look here. 20+% more ERS. Jack Craig misses his apex a little bit, but maybe gets a little bit of an extra run. So here we go. Jordan burning, opens DRS. He's going to maybe look to the inside. You see Lyo sets the fastest lap, so Lyo is charging on those medium tyres. Jordan to the outside. Can Jack Craig hold on? They're going to be side by side. Let's can't bother Aston Master has a good view of this. And Jordan gets moved on. Here comes Aston Master. They're going to go down the inside of Jack Craig maybe. No, man just backs out of it. So that is Jordan up into the lead. He needs to build a gap now and try and pull away while Jack Craig is in between himself and Aston Master. Let's have a look how much the gap he can pull on this lap. This is a crucial lap. Y-Racer sets the fastest lap. He's hit for softs and is now flying. What else do you expect? New Garden getting a move done on George. Further back, and N89 getting overtaken by Y-Racer 2. So a lot of overtakes happening up and down the field. And here we go. Jack Craig doesn't quite have the ERS to come back at Jordan, or the pace, but let's have a look what he can do down the main straight. The New Garden, even on 25 lap holds hards, is making overtakes, so impressive drive from him. I know he did have that contact and spin, that's very unfortunate, but he really has had a valiant effort. And I don't think Aston Master is going to be able to get an overtake up here, unless he can absolutely lunge of all lunges. And Jordan's gone deep! Jordan goes really deep there. If Jack Craig was any closer, the door was wide open to make a move. But he just wasn't close enough, and has to stay in 2nd for now. But Aston Master really needs to get this overtake done if he wants to do anything, because we're on the final lap here in Zandvoort. Here he comes, he's burning. He's maybe going to look for the inside. He doesn't quite have the run to get down the inside of the Alfa Romeo there, of Jack Craig. So Jack Craig holding on to 2nd at the minute. It's Jordan, who I think he's going to win this race in absolute drama-filled circumstances. As Aston Master just looked for a way past to try and claim 2nd place. Here we go. Into the chicane. Is Aston Master going to go for a lunge? Ooh, he looks for the inside, but nothing to be done. And we have one final braking zone, and then it is flat out to the line. Barring any mistakes, I think this is going to be how the front 3 finish. So here we go for the final time. It's going to be DRS. It's going to be very close between all of these. And here comes Aston Master. Oof! I mean, Jack Craig weaves across the line and blocks Aston Master from getting past. I don't know if that's going to be investigated by the stewards. But it's going to be ERT Jordan who wins in Zandvoort. Absolute chaotic pace. Jack Craig 2nd and Aston Master rounds up the podium in 3rd. What a final. Well, what a whole race even. Lyo comes home in 4th. Lewis Craig in 5th. Even after his penalty, he stays 5th. Ryan in 6th. New Garden 7th. Bazza comes home for a solid 8th. George 9th. Y-Racer, who had the pace all day, he's going to come home in P10. And N89 a final finisher in 11th. What a crazy race. N89 is no front wing. So in all the drama, we've missed that. But what a race we've had here today. That is absolutely crazy. What drama. So it's going to be Jordan who wins for AlphaTauri. And there he is. He looks very... Oh, it doesn't even look happy. There we go. That's more emotions. That's what we'd expect from someone who's just won a race. And I'll just run you through our final finishing order quickly. So it's Jordan who wins it for AlphaTauri. Jack Craig in second. Acid Master from 13th on the grid comes home for P3. And just ahead of Lyo, who comes home 4th. Lewis Craig, even with the penalty, finishes 5th. Ryan, the highest of the Constructors' Championship battle finishers, finishes in 6th, with Newgarden in the Red Bull behind. Baz at 8th, George 9th. Wyrace ran out of the top 10, and our final finisher, N89 in 11th. And then we have quite a few DNFs. We have Kev Rusky, Acorn, Kia, Lee, Gareth, and Tony all DNFing, unfortunately. But yeah, that's going to round off an incredible race here in Zandvoort. And yeah, you would be absolutely crazy if you don't watch the next race, which will be here. I'm not too sure what track it is, but yeah, next week, join us, because we will have more of the same absolute drama and chaos. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next time.